Virgo and motorcycle people, because my young neighbour just came coasting down through this very steep wooded garden on his motorbike just before this, so maybe that means something to somebody. Right, we've already got one card out for your internal life, which is the lovely Ace of Wands, and how that makes you act on the outside. The Nine of Swords, a bit worried. And what's on the basis of this reading? The Judgment and Epiphany. And something that's happened in the recent past. The Knight of Wands, more of that passion. That's interesting. And how this might, what the end of this, potential outcome is the Four of Cups. Did you see how that sort of danced on the top, bounced on the top? And coming up in the near future, we have the Seven of Wands, the Five of Wands, wow, the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. That's very interesting energy, and they were like that. And at the base, in your attitude, what have we got here? The Nine of Wands, the Fool, and the Queen of, Queen of Wands. We love her. I'll show you these properly in a second. And your environment. One card. The Page of Wands. So much excitable wand energy here. And your hopes and fears. The Queen of Swords. And what is our outcome? Where is this leading? The Empress. Go Virgo and motorcycle people. That's amazing. What a lovely reading. So despite a little bit of worry about this passionate new start, don't worry, it's bearing fruit. You are going to be gripped by it. You are going to embody it in the Empress, which I love. And I'm just going to dive in. So internally, you've got a new passionate sense of a start. Oh dear, I'm in my neighbour's garden, so I can't complain. Sorry. A new passionate sense of a start with this Ace of Wands. Feeling very, very excited and delighted by an idea that has been given to you from somewhere divine that really lights your passion. You could also really find someone very attractive with that. And how this makes you feel is a little bit worried. It's such a forceful energy. There goes the motorbike. Should be going to school. Such a forceful energy. What can I see? It's almost like, you see how there's this sense of light coming from the hand, the sort of halo of swords in a way. There he goes. Here, I feel like those swords, that halo becomes swords, and you're almost saying this is too much. It's blinding. That's how I'm seeing it today. I'm blinded by this. This is too much. I can't quite believe it. It's not what I expected. So, at the basis of the reading, an epiphany. Feeling as if you suddenly understand something, and this will be this Ace of Wands, I'm sure. These long forgotten parts of yourself rising up from their coffin, something that has been long dead to you or long buried in your subconscious, in your psyche, has suddenly come to fruit and to light, re-emerged, and you know that you want to communicate with it. I'm looking at this character with his head held back in such ecstasy as the angel is above him. So you're sort of bathing in delight at this revelation. Excuse me. Has anyone else had this crazy long? I'm never ill, and I cannot move there's some sort of strange illness that I got in London that I can't get rid of. Anyway, I'd be interested to know, because it's so unlike me. But I am getting rid of it. It's just that there's a little bit of that left, so apologies. In the recent past, we see the Knight of Wands, again, this passion, the introduction of this passion, riding in his libidinous, slightly uncommitted way. You know, it could be, if you're in a partnership, you might have found somebody that you find rather attractive outside of the partnership, or if you're single and suddenly somebody really sexy rides in, there could be that. there could be that, an epiphany of sort of passion almost, an epiphany of your sort of sexual awakening. Gosh, what fun. Look at you. Or it's this incredible idea that's sort of just appeared to you. I'm looking at his green, the green of spring on the horse's sort of reins. So a sort of sense of a spring awakening. And one potential outcome is you go, nah, I can't cope with that. This is too worrying. This is too much. I can see what the offer is, but I can't take that. That's not for me. I just can't. I'm not even going to look at the cup. Now, that's a potential outcome. And we understand it because you're worried. In the near future, we see you with these two cards either side of two lovely cards. 5 of Wands, in it to win it, being competitive. 7 of Wands, having reached higher ground and dealing with all the different competitive elements. So there is something that you have to batter back almost. It's like you're saying, I can't. I've told you no, because here you are with your 4 of Pentacles, holding on to what you've got by your heart, looking actually quite knowingly at me at the moment. And there's little pink roofs on these houses. And he's saying, I'm happy where I am. But it's just a stage, because actually there's a new love. Or maybe this is you using this new passion to hold on to the passionate idea. It might be that you're holding on because he looks quite happy with his holding on to what you love, and you're fighting for it with all of this energy. Let's see. In your attitude, we see you again a bit defensive with the 9 of Wands, the wounded healer. But no, here again, I think you're protecting. I think that's what that last stage was. You're fighting for this new loving idea, this new amazing idea that you love so much that you're going to hold to your heart because it's so important. And here, with the 9 of Wands, you're going to protect this new start that involves the Wands, that involves the Queen of Wands now. So this passion, this lack of conformity. Look at her legs open, her black cat of intuition, her crazy lions of strength, not crazy, like powerful lions. The sunflower, she's not looking at us, she's holding a very sort of plain wand for a woman of her status. There's no green bits on. One tiny little green shoot that's off it, but she's already achieved everything she needs, and the green around the top of her I wanted to say helmet, it's actually a throne, crown. How strange that I thought helmet, but she is quite feisty, the Queen of Wands, and she's generative. So it's taking that energy of the Wands, this creative energy, this creative new start, and you're protecting it, but you're also feeling a little bit beleaguered by the whole thing. And in your environment, again, this incredible, beguiled Page of Wands, looking at the tip of his wand for inspiration, super excited about whatever this is, whether it's a new sexual partner, a new sense of passion, of intuition, an idea. I absolutely love it. You're really lit up by this. And your hopes and fears, you want to bring some of the logic of the Queen of Swords. You don't want her squashing this amazing experience, but probably what you want is to bring some of her incredible wisdom to this whole thing so that you can make it real. And it's strange because her feet look like they're almost in the clouds, that don't look quite rooted to me today, her foot. And this tassel around her wrist, which we usually say is where is all the ties that she's bound. But here I'm thinking of something I saw, a little Instagram post of this giant tassel that was walking through London. So someone dressed up as a giant tassel, a sort of preposterous idea made big. And I feel like your passion needs her kind of protection. I love that she wears all the worries like an animal pelt on her cloak. The worries of why can't I speak suddenly? The worries in the sense of the clouds representing what is difficult to see through and understand. She's mastered it and she wears it on her cloak, like as if it was an animal pelt. She says, I've got that one. And then there's this 2 streams of red and blue. I don't know if that means anything to anyone, coming out of the back of her throne. That's your hope and your fear. You don't want her squashing anything because she can be a little bit tough, but you also want her to help you structure this idea and where it's all going. Hello to this beautiful Empress. It's working. You know, the Empress receiving this idea, it's fertilized within her. It's growing into something big. There's an environment for expressing yourself creatively. There's an environment for sort of babies and delicious sex and lovely clothes, and you know, this, she really loves that kind of energy, and she's going to partner with it. So that's incredible. Let's get a little Enchanted Forest card as a comment on this, if there's anything that they want to talk about. The 8 of Boons, working hard away at something. Maybe that's just a note of don't just rest on your laurels. Let's see, where's the book? Here we go. I haven't read this one for ages. I like the picture, so what can I see before we read it? A bird in the tree, lots of thread. Now that's interesting. My boyfriend's mother was telling me about the myth of, she had a plate on her wall. We went for lunch the other day, and there was this plate, and I said, what does that mean? And she told me this amazing myth that was, which I will put in the comments, because I thought it was, I wanted to look into it further, because it was about thread and about how this young woman who had the same name as the Empress, or the ruler, had enough thread that when she was challenged, the Empress challenged her to encompass everything that she could encompass with her thread, she could have, and she did get it. She honoured this. So it's like a sort of wish fulfillment, and they have a festival to it here, and they honour it. You have like in up north she showed me pictures of a sort of carnival to this character. I'm going to put something about it into the thing. So it's something to do with what you weave, becoming very, very lucky. I love that. And it also reminds me of a poem called Pippa Passes by Browning. And my name's Philippa, but my short name is Pippa. And I recently sort of took it off the shelf because somebody must have given me a copy when I was a baby, and it's a very curious tale about a young woman who works in a factory weaving as well. But she goes on a beautiful morning, she sets out on a morning like this, and she tiptoes around, she sort of springs around the countryside and looks in on all these different scenarios, which she perceives to be, in her innocence, something that reflects that, but that are invariably a little bit darker. But there's a question of blessings for her as well, this innocent being blessed. Look into both of those. I'll put them in the comments. 8 of Boons. Mastering a craft, meticulous work, increasing excellent, passionate pursuits are their own reward. Well, we know you've got passion here. The tiny bird is a gold crest. It's very happy to have golden threads to weave into its nest. Lovely. The task of magically spinning nettles into gold was daunting at first. Oh, there's a film called the Nettle Dress, which is a documentary about a man who is grieving, and he weaves a dress out of nettles. I mean, it's really something. It's quite amazing. Check that out as well. The task of magically spinning nettles into gold was daunting at first, all the strings and tangles working against all sense to make something precious out of something so ordinary. Patiently moving at the speed of learning, she threaded her spindles, running the fibres through her sensitive fingers as she spun. In time, she could see the progress of her skill, a snarled and fuzzy spindle where a gleam of gold was faintly seen. She's intent upon her task, and her confidence grows with each filled spindle. You can see this whole process in that film. It takes time to become an adept, and magical skills are no easier to master than mundane ones. Practice leads to improvement. Dedication leads to excellence. Whatever your work is in the world, do it in the very best way, to the very best of your ability, and then some. Push past your comfort zone, but don't lose sight of the moment in striving towards an outcome. The learning process itself brings its own delights. It's kind of like why I started this channel, because I love doing this. I absolutely love it, and I'd quite happily do it with, I mean, everyone who knows me jokes at how much I talk anyway, but I see everything in stories. I adore working with these images. I've got quite a sort of poetically inclined brain. I write, and I love stories, and I've written a lot of poetry in the past as well. And I'm playful. So I would easily do this forever, but I would also love to just get better and better and better, allow myself to become more and more of a channel. And you might be doing something similar, maybe with tarot. Maybe you're spinning something and it's saying whatever this thing is that you're passionate about, just don't become so obsessed and thinking about the end of this golden thread. Just enjoy it. That's what I'm doing, but it will lead somewhere. So that's gorgeous. And from the Shining Tribe deck, we have the Gift of Stones. Let's see what, I'll try and make this quick. How many minutes have we got? Oh, it's not too bad, but I want to make it quick. Anyway, Gift of Stones. Rivers, trees. Where are you, stones? Here we go. The vision cards. Knower of trees, rivers, gift of birds, stones. So this is like the Page of Pentacles, who we haven't got here, but we've got other page energies. Art, inspiration, outpouring of ideas. Do you remember I was saying, you know, maybe you are an artist. Passion, wildness. Oh no, I'm reading the Gift of Birds. That's what you are anyway. It's meant to be there. You are wild and amazing. So just a sec. Gift of Stones. Oh, so now this isn't the page. This is the king, the queen of Pentacles. Wonderful. But I'm glad we reminded ourselves how passionate you were. Intimate, sharing links between parents and children or between friends, finding deep meaning in our own experience. Pilgrimages or sacred journeys, harvest abundance, the gift of the earth. I also love pilgrimages and those kind of sacred journeys. Maybe that's something that you do. Right, so I'm going to have to dive into various different bits of this. It's talking about lots of travels she's done and all the things that she's found on it. Which I don't think we want to read all of because we're going to lose our message. But it's about the message of Earth. So she talks about the wisdom found in natural stones, the human-made temples throughout the world, and the journeys we make to such places are the gift of stones. So we're going back to the idea of like Stonehenge. Which was, just in the previous reading, I read something about Stonehenge. So maybe you're someone like me who goes to these sacred sites, and I believe we can kind of make sites sacred. So this idea of the threads, you know, when you walk a route, I used to, with my dog every day, who very sadly died last year, I used to walk around this little park, and I felt like it became more and more beguiled the more me and a group of people walked around it and loved it. It just sort of over the years became more and more beautiful as we gave our love to this process, looking at things, enjoying each other's company, watching the dogs enjoy each other. That's sort of like the idea of these threads. So, and then I'm being brought to this idea of sacred land. Maybe you are making land sacred in some way. Maybe you're an architect or a sculptor. Maybe you're a town planner, but you understand the importance, or a property developer, but you understand the importance of what you put there that can beguile and make magical for people so that they're reminded of their roots. It's interesting. So the whole thing is really about her journey, and it's reminding us about this idea of sacred earth. Yeah, so she talks a lot about all these different altar stones and her magical experience with it. Yeah, I think that's what we're meant to get from it. Okay, so a sense of the land around you becoming sort of impregnated, or so the other idea that threads makes me think of is a gift of love. You're giving a gift of love. Is this Thousand Fibres, a company that my sister-in-law and my brother and my sister all work in, and they create beautiful jewelry that's wound with threads. I'm sort of hesitating. I don't want anyone to think that this is by design. It literally is because of the threads, but it's so beautiful, this jewelry. And the idea behind it is about the threads that bind us to other people. So lots of cultures use little red threads to be, like in Indian culture, there's a brother and sister day, maybe you know better than me, where you tie a thread, and threads for luck in Jewish culture, and all sorts of ways that we think of threads binding each other together. Yeah, messages of love. And then that's extending also to what you're bringing is messages of love, and that also is extending into the earth, is just pulling out this beautiful, intoxicated sense of meaning and connection with this passion that you've got, and you're allowing other people to see it, and you're threading around the world, and it takes you from disappointment. Yeah, it takes your messages to other people, I want to say, is don't focus on what doesn't work at this moment. Change your perspective. We're winning. There's success here. There's something really beautiful with this loving, passionate new start of all of this. Maybe it is to do with ley lines, maybe it's to do with energy lines, maybe what it's saying is the energy lines are prevailing. They're becoming bigger, we know that if you watch any of Pam Gregory's work. I was lucky enough to do a dowsing course with Rory Duff, and he talked a lot about how the energy lines, the ley lines around the equinoxes are now getting really, 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 they're growing anyway, they're becoming fatter and bigger and wider, and then at the equinoxes and the solstices they become huge and they kind of meld. Those are the ideas that I've got in my mind. I hope that you work in something like that. I hope you relate to something like that. I hope this is something that you can help bring into the world. Yeah, this is really lovely. Whatever it is you feel passionate about, come on, bring it out to us. This is amazing. You're going to have your Empress moment. Maybe it's maybe it's an amazing new relationship that is going to bring great fertility into your life. Whatever it is, I hope you have fun with it. See you again. Bye.